I know I had the weirdest dreams last night, but I cannot remember a thing now. Ugh, Julio, that dumbass. Hi, I'm here to see Mr. Arnett. He's expecting me.
Oh, of course, Officer Wallace. By the way, would you like to receive another makeover?
Well, I'm in a rush. I think I'll pass this time.
Sorry to hear that. Maybe next time, then.
Hello, Arnie. It's me again.
Hello, sweetie pie.
Do you know if Mr. Bogdanov had any NGO duties? He might have left the country for such a duty and got into trouble.
Oh, I put in so much effort.
What effort?
Effort to get Phoebe signed up for an NGO duty.
And did he sign up?
No. He had no interest whatsoever. I explained it to him, but he didn't care.
What did you explain?
I explained that it was very important for public relations purposes, and every affluent man was involved in at least one NGO duty.
And, of course, you also mentioned to him that it was part of his debt to society, right?
Oh, goodness gracious. Where do you get these philosophical lines? Those are for college kids. You cannot expect a man at Phoebe's stage in life to fall for such ridiculous ideas.
You mean you don't believe that you're indebted to our system?
Look, dearie, to get a man to change takes a lot of convincing. If you feed him the same bullshit that he's been exposed to all his life, you're not going to get anywhere. Besides, you're not saying anything that he hasn't heard before. You need to use words that will touch his subconscious, meaning words that they think of but never speak of.
Are you saying that some people don't feel they have a debt to the Union?
Exactly.
And why is that? What makes them so different or special?
You have to understand we are talking about older and very affluent people. As you climb up the ladders in a society, you start feeling more and more like an owner.
An owner of the society?
Society, company, system, you name it. I am not saying this is how these affluent people think. This is how they feel. To an owner of the society, a debt to the society has no meaning. And I talk to these people along these lines in order to reach them.
What you're saying is still puzzling me. But from what I understand, you're questioning some of the basic foundations of our system. And you can be prosecuted for violating our Constitution.
Can you elaborate which article of the Constitution I might be violating?
I don't know. I can't pinpoint it, but I'm sure somebody would find it offensive and sue you.
And they do sue us, dear. But they can never prove any violation of the Constitution. Plus, the founders of our system believe in the importance of our services. That is why we have a special deal with the GPSN.
Are you saying you are immune to such offenses?
Let's just say we do not break the law, and we are needed for system's well-being. That's all.
Did Mr. Bogdanov have any enemies?
Well, you are asking the wrong person, but I highly doubt it.
What makes you say that?
Because, dear, our little Phoebe had no wings.
He had no wings? What do you mean by that?
It means he was just learning to walk.
Mr. Bogdanov was a grown man. What do you mean he was just learning to walk?
From a biological point of view, you are right. But from a business point of view, he was just a toddler.
So, what you're saying, Arnie, is that his lack of experience in the business world has kept him from developing enemies?
Good, you are learning, dearest. It's more like he is an ant in the land of elephants. Nobody will notice his presence, no matter how much noise he makes.
So what made Mr. Bogdanov so unnoticeable? Why wouldn't he have developed any enemies?
How about the fact that there are nearly 1 billion others like him in the World Union?
Then, how do you explain his murder?
Sweetie pie, I only told you about the dynamics of our society. Vibi was murdered in a rogue state. It's a completely different ballgame there. And I have no idea if he was an ant or an elephant in that society.
So, in your opinion, the World Union has no connection to his murder?
Nobody can be sure about that, because sometimes elephants unknowingly stomp on ants.
Did Mr. Bogdanov have many friends?
No, he did not.
What makes you so decisive about your answer?
Because I know that he did not have many friends. He couldn't tune in to the right frequency.
You mean specifically here in the Union?
Vibi did not have a good tuner in general. Now that I know he was an immigrant, I can easily tell you he may have even had similar problems. Before coming to the Union, his interpersonal skills were undeveloped and they needed a lot of work.
Sounds like a real social outcast.
He was an outcast, but he was also very greedy and possessed a very strong willpower. He had the right foundations to become a politically correct Union citizen.
So you think it is greed and willpower that make an individual politically correct in our Union?
No, you neither need greed nor willpower to behave in politically correct manners. Do you really think all of our citizens possess exceptional amounts of greed and willpower? Let me assure you, they don't. Greed and willpower are the basic ingredients to be successful in any society. If you possess those, you have the potential to become anyone you want, provided that you are ready to make sacrifices.
So, was Mr. Bogdanov ready to make such sacrifices?
That I am not sure about. He was supposed to make some important decisions this week regarding my proposed makeover, but I guess it wasn't meant to be.
Did Mr. Bogdanov ever mention his relationships with others?
Oh yes, he was one to brag about his relationships with others, especially his relationships with females.
Why do you use the term brag? Do you think he was exaggerating?
Oh yes, I know when a man is telling a tall tale.
And what did he tend to exaggerate about?
His shoe size, of course. Oh, what do you think, sweetie?
And what do you mean by that?
Oh, come on, girl. Don't play Miss Congeniality with me.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Tell me, in plain English, why you think he exaggerated about his relationships.
Okay then, Ms. Plain Jane. Tell me, why does anyone exaggerate? To cover up their shortcomings and to make a better impression on others, right?
You're right, Arnie. But what were his shortcomings?
Well, where do we start? He was very short of being Mr. Class, Mr. Personality, Mr. Gorgeous, Mr. Politically Correct, and Mr. Sex Appeal. Need I say more?
No, Arnie. I got your point. I think I have all I need from you regarding my investigation, Arnie.
All right, sweetie pie.
Thank you for your time, and goodbye. Arnie is so full of himself. He sounds like he's figured it all out. Me, Bogdanov, everybody. I don't think he's any use to my investigation anymore. Hey, I played with rubber ducks too, but that was years ago. Hello, Ms. Vanderbilt. Do you have some time for me?
Certainly.
Do you know if Mr. Bogdanov was involved in other ventures?
My goodness. You act as if I had an affair with the man.
I just want to know if you heard him speak about any other businesses.
No, I did not. And I wasn't interested.
Can you tell me any specifics about your treatment at the rehab?
All I can tell you is they took very good care of me, as expected.
In what ways did they take care of you?
Well, when I arrived there, I was a wreck. I really didn't know what end was up.
You felt that bad, huh?
I was addicted, all because of that bastard Bogdanov.
He got you addicted?
Well, let's just say he was to blame for introducing that non-certified device to me.
Then what happened?
When I told him I wanted to keep it a little longer, he said sure, for a price.
So, he started renting the device to you. Was there any agreement about a free trial period?
Yes. We made a verbal agreement for a free trial period. The first week. Then he introduced a weekly rental price, which doubled every week after that. But I didn't care. I had to have it.
How did you learn about the device?
That Bogdanov ass approached me one day and invited me to his office.
What did he say?
He said he imported this device for his elite clientele, and he wanted me to have it for 1 week as a promotion.
So it was for his elite clients, as a token of his appreciation?
That's what it seemed like. That ugly bastard. I'd no idea he wanted to get me addicted.
Did you check if the device had appropriate authorization seals?
No, I did not. I noticed it lacked those holographic seals much later, and it was too late. It had a different user interface, one that I did not see before.
Can you recall any of the experiences?
You know, it was a virtual reality device, but I really cannot recall much. I prefer to forget that experience altogether.
Was it painful? Is that why you prefer to forget it?
No, I don't recall any pain, but it was just so intense.
Intense in what way?
I remember that the experiences I had were completely realistic. I hadn't seen a virtual reality device like that before.
And what did you experience?
My favorite program was a sexual encounter routine. It was the most tantalizing experience I've ever encountered.
Was it that realistic?
It was beyond realism.
How come?
Because I've yet to experience any emotion so overpowering.
I thought you did not remember much from your experiences.
I do not remember the details, but I do remember the intense emotional pleasure I received. The bad thing was, whenever the routine ended, I was ready for more and more. And then I became addicted.
Didn't you see the irrationality in paying so much money for this kind of a device?
The device had such a grip on me. I just couldn't let go with it.
Why?
Because I've yet to experience any feeling so overpowering.
Can you describe me the device, please?
I'm not sure if I can.
Do not worry. The GPS and suspect modeling software can be used for device descriptions.
Well, I would have thought you would have seen one of these devices. Why do you need a description from me?
For safety reasons, we are not granted access yet. Nobody knows how these devices actually work, so nobody is allowed near them until qualified personnel finish their observations.
I see. I will try to do my best then.
Thank you. PA, establish link to Lena Vanderbilt's PA for the parallel usage of the suspect modeling software, device description function. Thanks so much for all your help, Ms. Vanderbilt. I think I have everything I need for my investigation. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I must be one of the few people who knows what this deadly device looks like now. Could this thing be responsible for other deaths? I think it's time to report my findings to Chief Morrison. I have some important facts to discuss, Chief. Lena Vanderbilt told me that she had received excellent treatment at the rehab center. Evidently, her treatment was for an addiction she developed to a device that Bogdanov had introduced to her. Apparently, Bogdanov gave this device to her on a trial basis at first. However, after the first week, he started renting it at outrageous rates. Apparently, Lena Vanderbilt told me the device that she had become addicted to was a virtual reality device. She said that the experiences she had while using this device were completely realistic, and that she hadn't seen a virtual reality device like that before. Apparently, she vividly remembers the intense emotional pleasure that she received while using one of the device's programs. She claims that whenever this routine ended, she was ready for more and more, and that's how she became addicted.
I have never seen or heard of a device with such a powerful influence on a person's emotions.
Neither have I, Chief.
Keep up the good work, Phoenix. Let's get to the bottom of this as soon as possible.
My sentiments exactly.
I only have a little time. Continue.
Lena Vanderbilt didn't know that Bogdanov had been murdered, since she was just recently discharged from the rehab center. She didn't seem to be upset about Bogdanov's death at all. As a matter of fact, there was a bitterness in her voice when she spoke of Bogdanov.
Is this really relevant to the case?
I'm not sure, but I certainly don't want to miss out on anything. I have nothing further to mention at this time. Harold, I would like to look for this item in the footage.
Okay, let's try.
This software's like magic.
Yes, there it is. It is in pieces, but it's there.
Wow. Thanks, Harold.
Anytime, Phoenix.
I think it's time to report my findings to Chief Morrison. I have some important facts to discuss, Chief. I have proof that there was a virtual reality device in Perez's plane when it crashed. The same device that Lena Vanderbilt was using.
You must be joking. How do you know?
I took the sketch that I obtained from Lena Vanderbilt to the monitoring room, and a remarkable software helped me to locate the pieces of the device at Perez's crash site.
Very hard to believe. I think I need to report this to our chief executive immediately. Where is this proof again?
You can obtain it from Harold in the monitoring room.
One of Beverly's young engineers, right?
Yes, Chief.
Phoenix, Julio did a thorough background check on Mr. Mikhailov, and unfortunately there are some dark issues about this man. I want you to find him and have a serious talk with him.
Understood, Chief. I know where to find Mikhailov in the evening. I have a few more questions for you, Mr. Mikhailov.
Certainly.
When did you arrive here, Mr. Mikhailov?
I arrived on the 8th, in the afternoon.
Where were you on the 7th, then?
I was in Russia.
Did you like Vasily Bogdanov?
Of course I did. He was my childhood friend.
Were you in contact with Mr. Bogdanov when he was in Odessa?
Certainly not. I didn't know he was in Russia.
Is that right? I'm pretty sure he would have mentioned his plans about visiting Russia. You are childhood friends, after all. I'm sure he would have wanted to visit you, just like you visit him.
No? Really? I had no idea.
Did you have a business relationship with Mr. Bogdanov?
No, I didn't. I can't believe you are accusing me like this. I had no reason to harm him.
I don't remember mentioning anything about harm. But now that you mention it, how can you convince me that you really wouldn't harm him?
I was his brother-in-law, for Christ's sake.
You're what?
His brother-in-law.
Wait, let me think. I'm not used to this biological family lingo. Are you Larissa Lukin's brother?
Yes, I am.
This is incredible.
Officer, I need to leave now. I have to catch a meeting.
You do? All right, but do not leave town for the time being. I'm sure I will need to ask you further questions.
Okay, I won't.
I know it's late, but I need to report my findings to Chief Morrison.
You better have a good reason for bringing me here this late.
Ilya Mikhailov confessed to me that he is actually Bogdanov's brother-in-law and Larissa Lukin's biological brother.
Lukin's bio-brother? No kidding. Has Larissa mentioned anything to you before about having a biological brother?
No, absolutely not.
In that case, you should pay a visit to Ms. Lukin first thing in the morning.
I totally agree.
I only have a little time. Continue.
Ilya Mikhailov told me that he arrived in the Union the day after Bogdanov was murdered. I already verified this through our records. Apparently, he was in Russia the day Bogdanov died.
What a coincidence. But it doesn't mean anything.
No, not yet. I have nothing further to mention at this time. Hello, Larissa.
Oh, hi, Phoenix. You look upset, dear. Sit down.
Thank you. How are you today?
Oh, I am better. Did something happen?
Yes, it certainly did.
What? Tell me.
You have been keeping information from me. Again.
No, I did not.
Who is Ilya Mikhailov?
Ilya. Oh my.
Tell me, Larissa, before I take you into custody for violating Article 7.
He is my bio-relative.
Exactly what relation?
My bio-brother from Russia.
So you lied to me about your bio-relations.
It shouldn't have mattered.
What was your bio-brother doing with Mr. Bogdanov?
I have no idea. It is impossible that they are seeing each other.
I hear that they were quite friendly with each other, Larissa.
But I do not understand. How can they meet?
Why do you think it was impossible for them to see each other?
You see, my Phoenix.
Why, Larissa? It is very important.
They used to work together.
You mean your biological brother was also a Gambino?
I am afraid that is correct.
Your bio-brother and your former nuptial partner were business partners?
We all grew up together, supported each other through tough childhood. We had no choice about what to become.
This is exactly why there is an Article 7. and all children get trained and raised by qualified professionals. I hope you see better now that the archaic family structure is unfair on children.
Yes, I knew it all along in my heart. I can see it very clearly now.
Is your brother still linked with the Gambinos?
To my knowledge, yes. He was still with the family when we left.
So you basically abandoned your biological brother in order to immigrate?
I had to. We had to. Ilya was too close to the top.
Larissa, you've lied to me more than once, and there will be consequences for it.
I know, Phoenix.
Following the conclusion of this case, I will recommend that you receive psychiatric treatment at the rehab center. So disappointed with her lies. On the other hand, our union seems to be infested by criminals from rogue states. That's hard to even imagine. I think it's time to report my findings to Chief Morrison. I have some important facts to discuss, Chief. Chief, Larissa Lucan revealed to me that Mikhailov was also a Gambino.
What? Another Gambino? What did she say exactly?
Larissa claims that her biological brother is possibly still linked with the Gambinos, and furthermore, he may still be very close to the top.
A top Gambino member in the World Union? I can't believe it. However, we have to take into consideration that Miss Lucan is not what we'd consider a reliable source, is she now?
You've got a point there, Chief. Chief, I would like to have a questioning warrant for Mikhailov.
So, did you get your story straightened out?
Yes, I have.
Then let's hear it.
We know that Bogdanov was renting out illegal devices. Lethal devices. Lena Vanderbilt is a witness to this rental business. And we have Melvin Spencer, lying dead at the rehab center. Although a direct link between the device and Spencer's death cannot be confirmed, Criminal Task Force specialists are certain that the device was the cause of Spencer's death.
And those specialists haven't even seen or touched this mysterious device, right? Anyway, please continue.
Larissa claims that her biological brother Mikhailov used to have links with the Gambino crime family, but she isn't sure if he still has a link or not. Heck, there's hardly anything that Larissa is sure about.
We already know that, Phoenix. Get to the point.
Maybe Mikhailov still has links with the Gambinos, or maybe he doesn't. What's important is, there is a pattern. He has a criminal past, and I believe that Bogdanov and Mikhailov were together in this illegal device rental business, along with Perez, who was running the illegal products across the border, in his cargo planes.
So, do you think Mikhailov was involved in the murder?
I think something went wrong with the device that Spencer happened to rent. And perhaps Bogdanov and Mikhailov had a meeting in Odessa, Russia, with the manufacturers about this deadly malfunction. Maybe then they all got in an argument, and that is when guns got involved.
Not a bad story. But you seem to forget that Bogdanov died before Spencer's device malfunctioned.
That's right, Chief.
Anyway, I think Mr. Mikhailov can fill in the blanks for us. What do you think?
I agree, Chief.
Very well. I accept your request, and I will talk to a judge as soon as possible.
Thank you, Chief. I have nothing further to mention at this time. What's up, Julius?
Oh, Phoenix. How are you, dear?
I'm fine. How are the classes going?
Very good. I am certain that I will pass all of them this year.
Including the physical education classes?
Yes, them too. Can't you tell? I lost a lot of weight.
Yes, I can see that. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like you made enough progress just yet.
Oh, Phoenix, it is enough. I will pass all my classes and meet you at the security screening.
Right. You have to exercise a lot and study a lot before the security screening interview. You know.
Yes, Phoenix, I know.
Plus, I suggest you graduate soon, because the World Union Immigration and Naturalization Authority might be introducing a maximum age soon. Maximum age to enter the academies all around the world.
That does not matter, Phoenix. Adrianopolis Academy will never get rid of me, because I am an exception.
Julius, you know there are no exceptions in our system. Everybody gets treated fair and square.
No. I am an exception, because I have a big army.
Oh, brother. The nutty general talk again. See you later, Julius.
The armies of the mighty general took the enemy by surprise. They opened fire from every direction, slaughtering them within hours. It was a great victory for the general. His fame would endure forever.
I've been slipping on my training schedule lately. I could use some physical activity. That felt so good.
Your questioning warrant for Ilya Mikhailov was approved by a judge, and I immediately sent an elite team to detain him. He is now waiting in the interview room to be questioned.
Great. Shall we get going then?
I'm not going anywhere. This was your call, and he belongs to you.
You mean I have to interview him alone?
Yes, you have interviewed novices before. This man isn't any different. Just go in there and do your job.
Understood, Chief. Mr. Mikhailov, you were brought here to be questioned about the murder of Vasily Bogdanov. Any thought that appears in your head can be viewed on the screens behind you, so there's no point in lying. If you cooperate with me, the procedure will be short and less emotionally painful for you. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Good. I'm going to be asking you questions, and I expect you to give relevant answers. Is that clear?
Yes, it is.
Mr. Mikhailov, are you currently a Gambino crime family member?
No, I am not.
Mr. Mikhailov, I'm warning you. Your lies will not be tolerated. I would be forced to bring in neurology experts, and they search for clues in your brain instead of asking. And believe me, this procedure usually causes permanent brain damage.
I see. Okay, I will not lie.
Now, are you currently a Gambino crime family member?
Yes, I am.
Did you murder Vasily Bogdanov?
No, I did not.
Tell me about these devices first. Where did they come from?
I don't know their origin. They were produced by us in one of our facilities, in Odessa.
Who designed them?
I don't know. I'm only aware that 20 of them were produced and smuggled into the Union for test marketing.
How were they smuggled?
Through the eastern border.
Who gave them to Bogdanov?
Bogdanov was the original recipient.
He was?
Of course. He was a trusted Gambino.
I thought he escaped from you guys.
Nobody can run away from the Gambinos. We gave him money to immigrate into the Union.
So the plan was that Bogdanov was going to test market these devices through the Thing store.
Yes, that was the idea. He was to give the devices to his customers on a trial basis, and send feedback to the family through me.
These devices, what is so special about them?
I was told that they produce artificial input as realistic as any real input.
In other words, you cannot hear or see anything while using these devices?
Or smell, touch, taste. You can't even move. After seeing the extraordinary demand for the devices, he started renting them at skyrocketing rates. Of course, he couldn't hide this from us forever. We asked for the rental money. He told us that he is a World Union citizen now and out of our reach. He asked for a concession.
Wow.
Vasily used to be a very mellow man. I could not understand what was happening to him. The bastard was right. He was out of our reach. It is impossible for us to do anything violent within the World Union. Even our most notorious hitmen seem to get scared and tame down when they are in the World Union, for some reason that we could not identify. So we took the situation to our Grand Don in Moscow. He said he will handle it himself. In a few days, Bogdanov appeared in Odessa.
Who brought him there? How did he get there?
I haven't a clue. He looked very calm and tranquil, as if he was drunk. He was drunk, I don't know.
Who used the firearm?
Some local hitman in Odessa. I don't know his name.
It does not matter. I will capture an image of the incident from your memories.
What's going to happen to me?
First, you will be treated in one of our rehabilitation centers. Then, you will be sent back to the Russian police. I bet they know what to do with you.
Phoenix, I am proud to tell you that you have successfully solved the Bogdanov case. Your progress could have been faster, but that's okay.
Thank you, Chief Morrison. I know I could have dealt with the case more efficiently.
You know, I was watching you from behind the mirror in the interview room. Your questioning of Mikhailov was exemplary.
Thank you again, Chief.
Now you need to pack your bags.
I do? Why? Am I being transferred?
Well, sort of. You're going to Odessa, Russia, to help the Russian police find Mr. Bogdanov's murderer. I've already transferred the image of the murderer to the police chief of Odessa. The GPSN and the Russian security forces agreed to establish a joint team in order to deal with this Gambino crime organization. And you're a part of this team, representing the World Union as Lieutenant Peace Officer Phoenix Wallace.
Lieutenant Wallace? Oh, thank you, Chief.
It wasn't only me who felt you deserved this promotion. Our Chief Executive Officer also suggested that you should be promoted.
Thank you again for all your help, Chief.
You're welcome. Now, an even more challenging task is waiting for you in Russia. I can assure you, it's going to be very stressful and difficult.
I can only imagine. But I am confident, and I know I can handle it.
I'm sure you will. By the way, here is your certificate for your outstanding performance. Good luck, Phoenix.
Thank you, Chief Morrison.